Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
Welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're talking all things AEW Dynamite on the road to Grand Slam. We got a new number one contender.
Like Grand Slam tennis.
Oh, it's Arthur Ashe. That's right, Grand Slam.
Yeah, it's tennis because the four
tennis,
majors.
That's right.
If you win the four majors in tennis, it's the Grand Slam, not in baseball.
And then they do the noises. You know, and then John McEnroe starts yelling at the line judge and finger wagging, and he throws his racket anyway. So, yeah, we're on the road to tennis show. There in AEW, got a new number one contender.
Show. There we go.
For the AEW World title. We got a new number one contender for the Women's World Championship there in AEW as well.
Yes.
And all sorts of stuff going on there. But, man,
the news of the day.
The news of the day has everything to do with one Jade Cargill. That's right, Larson. It seems like she might be heading to the WWE. What's going on?
So Jade just came back.
Returned
to AEW last Saturday's Collision, if memory serves. But could she really be leaving the company so soon? Fightful Select reported Wednesday night that Jade is, quote, likely finishing up with AEW, with last night's Dynamite/Rampage taping possibly being her last appearance with the company. I'm not going to spoil the outcome of the match, but she does have a TBS championship match against Chris Statlander this Friday on Rampage. You can guess how that goes.
Yeah.
Fightful added that, quote, sources within both AEW and WWE say that they believe she is headed to WWE. And PW Insider adds, quote, in speaking with AEW sources this morning, the belief is that her current AEW deal expires as soon as this week. While there were discussions with Cargill about staying, nothing new was ever agreed to. She is not currently slated for any other AEW appearances, we are told. If and when her deal expires, she'd be free to sign elsewhere. There are some in AEW who believe Cargill is headed to WWE for the NXT brand. Cargill actually had a tryout there before coming to WWE, where she was presented immediately as a star attraction with a long-running winning streak. First of all, Jade going to WWE, awesome.
Great.
Go to a company that will hopefully and is better equipped to push her as the superstar that she is. Tony Khan either showed a complete unwillingness or inability to push her as the superstar that she is.
Either a willful ignorance or an obliviousness. I don't know which one it is.
I don't know what it is either.
You have somebody who, I'm sorry, dude, that Jade Cargill has the absolute makings of like, and it's up to her and whoever she's working with to get her there, because it's not automatic, obviously, but she's got the look of a generational,
absolutely,
of a generational character.
Yeah.
It is, and she's got mainstream crossover written all over her, and anybody who can't see that ain't looking. I don't care. I saw so many ridiculous takes. It needs to be better in the ring. Man, get out of here with that,
dude. Like, who's one of WWE's most popular stars right now?
Oh, I don't know who.
LA Knight.
LA Knight. They got a bunch. They're doing pretty good these days. You're right. No, I agree. I know nobody ever says
that good. He's a competent wrestler, but he's not, like, wrestling isn't his strong suit.
Besides, Wade Keller, nobody else is saying he really needs to get a little bit better in the ring. It's WWE. It's not exactly the place where you need to be better in the ring. And here's the thing. This is the thing also about Jade. Even if that's a take that I agree with, she was working.
I don't agree with that take. I don't think she's bad in the ring at all.
She was working with Bryan Danielson.
Yes.
Imagine her working with Bianca. Bailey, I still think Bailey's like the women's Bryan Danielson. Bailey, Charlotte, Io Sky, Asuka. You think she's not, and in longer matches in a place where women are featured more. Rhea Ripley, thank you. She's going to improve in the ring just by being in there with them. That ain't gonna be a problem.
But the thing too in AEW. Sorry to interrupt. I know she had a handful of matches that went beyond like 4 minutes. Wasn't a lot, though.
Yeah.
By and large, her push consisted of beating somebody in about 90 seconds.
Right. Yeah.
There isn't exactly a large sample size for us as viewers to really get a full idea of what she can do in the ring. And I don't think she was necessarily given an opportunity from creative to showcase what she can do.
Right.
Again, because there's only a handful of examples of matches that actually went longer than 2, 3, 4 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And if she'd gotten more reps in longer matches and showcase more of what she could do, I that would probably quell some of the criticism about her, not be, quote unquote, not being good in the ring. I don't agree with that assessment. What I saw, she knows that she could tell a story. Her presence is absolutely off the charts.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And she's got a really fun moveset. She's got one of the best pump kicks in the entire business.
Yeah. No,
that choke slam she did when she came back was awesome.
Yeah. No, I think the world of her, and I'm really happy that she does seem to be going to a place that, again, as we've said before, it's not like WWE has a perfect track record with their women's division, but they really do. If you look at, for example, I think they sent Bianca and Montez to the VMAs to represent WWE. That's the kind of thing.
Dom was there too.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's funny.
Well, but Bianca and Montez were also at the at Wall Street.
The Wall Street thing, yeah. That's the kind of thing that you can expect from her, because you look at her, it's like, that's a star right there. That's an absolute star, and that transcends kind of everything. It really does.
It really does.
But you get her in there with some of the best, wrestlers that they got there in the WWE, and she'll be totally fine. It's just a matter of creative. Now let's swing over to, if this is indeed true, she's going to WWE. I've seen some people that said that there has been some hint, I guess from Sean Ross Sapp perhaps, that NXT would be.
Well,
it's said here in PW Insider, yeah. NXT would be the way to go. That's one thing that I think would be not a great move.
It would be folly.
It would be folly. What a great
You send her
word.
straight to main roster and you push her as the superstar that she is. That's what you do.
Like, and maybe this is just me talking. Dude, I tried to watch NXT this week. I did, and we used to review it, and I know we still get a stray comment here and there. Review NXT. It's hard for me to sit through that presentation. It just, I feel like it makes people look small. And maybe there's something else about it. I don't know. I appreciate so much of what they do and how they use their divisions, how they use their wrestlers, who they push, who they promote, and what's going on there, the stories that they tell. I like a lot of that stuff, but my God, it still just looks so small and like underwhelming. That's all I can say about it. And like, the last thing you want to do is put her in a position to make her look, to put her in a place where she looks less than, or she is not featured in such a huge way. I mean, main roster, those shows are packed. Packed. They're sold out, a lot of them. And you need that big AJ Styles moment, that Chris Jericho debut. You need that for her. And that's where she'll be utilized. That's where it's like, this is a big deal. You have the opportunity here to do something huge with her. You take it. You don't put her at the Performance Center in Orlando. And by the way, say what you will about the Performance Center and her being there to train and stuff. You have her train on the road with Bayley, with Bianca, with Rhea, with Charlotte, with all them. You don't need to go to the Performance Center for that.
No. I agree with everything you said. I'm going to play devil's advocate here for 1 second. Okay?
Have at it. Please do.
As far as a way to introduce Jade at NXT that might be beneficial for NXT, and maybe, I don't know about so much for her, but it'd be good for the brand, and have her be the main star on NXT. Who's the NXT Women's Champion right now?
Becky Lynch.
Yes. Legit main roster, main eventer.
Mm-hmm, yeah, sure.
You have Jade show up on her first episode of NXT, beat Becky for that title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then you instantly establish Jade as a star by beating Becky, and she's a known name. Maybe people from AEW will come watch NXT. If she's on, if the idea is they want to get the NXT ratings up, let's bring in Jade, have her beat Becky first night. She'll be the star attraction on NXT. People will watch it. Again, this isn't necessarily an argument I agree with. I'm just putting it out there.
Hey, dude, look, tag me in. I got a little bit more for you.
Go ahead.
This will work if you do this, because I
Take
do
NXT
love
on the road.
And it's sort of, I think that's a great idea. I really do. I don't think they're going to do that, but I think that's a great idea. But it sort of goes along with something you said the other day, I think on News Brief here, about Becky Lynch getting that NXT title.
Yeah.
You said, because my thought about her getting the title was, she's going to take a break. She's going to be champion in Orlando and just take a break.
Oh, and I'm like, no, she's going everywhere with that title. Yeah.
Do that. Jade Cargill shows up, just like Dom has the North American title, which, let's be honest, has kind of elevated the North American title.
Absolutely has.
You have Jade, and this is something that I have advocated for Carmelo as NXT champion. Have him like join Bobby's faction.
Yeah.
Listen to this. What about this? Because what was I saying the other day about factions and how every faction should be treated as its own unique thing with its own dynamic, right?
Yeah.
So I've advocated for Bianca joining the Bobby faction, right? Because she's totally an alpha. Have Bianca and Jade join that faction. Oh my God. The star power out of that faction, that's a license to print money. As NXT champion, she joins the Bobby faction, and Bianca joins the Bobby faction.
Yeah.
Domination.
And then you have Bianca and Jade. Yeah, they're working together initially, but at the same time, they both have their own ambitions,
Yeah.
And are their individual ambitions going to get in the way of each other?
No.
Not initially, but eventually.
Here's the thing: if they do this, Larson, they never break up.
Oh, all right, cool.
They never break up.
All right,
they still win other titles. They never break up.
All right, they never feud.
5 years from now.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Eventually, I'm not saying like 6 months.
Wait,
down the road,
or not, or never feud. Yeah, I don't know.
Or they feud as a friendly competition.
I just get the feeling the chemistry amongst that group would probably be just off the charts.
Off the charts, absolutely.
But dude, I don't even know what you're gonna call that faction. You got to call it something. You need a logo because you need a T-shirt. But
yeah,
man,
it needs to be good because the star power in that faction is off the charts.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. There's way you align her with people who are money. If you're gonna align her with people, god damn, that's a great idea. By the way, it's so good it's not gonna happen.
No, it's not gonna happen.
But no, I don't know. It's a fumble by AEW. It really is.
It's a massive fumble.
It's a
huge ball drop.
Tony Khan, I guess, wants his company to be a certain thing, but aren't you like limiting? Aren't you sort of limiting your business if you're like, okay, I want to be this. I want to be like Ring of Honor, but on WCW, but on Turner Networks like WCW, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
But I'm also not going to take advantage of like clearly what could be a massive crossover star. Like that's nuts to me.
It blows my mind, man.
That's crazy to me.
Mind.
That's
it
crazy
blows my mind,
dude.
I mean, from her first appearance in AEW, you see it. You see the star power.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's there, and to continually, like, just have her booked in squash matches, not have her involved in any sort of interesting stories. Although the Nyla feud was fun, and I don't know. It just like there's the Bow Wow stuff that came and went, but even if that happened, I don't know if that really would have led to something.
Bro,
it's just,
you ain't gonna get no crossover shit from Bow Wow. It's not gonna happen.
No,
that ain't gonna happen, man. It's got to be the now. It's got to be the new. That's what it's got to be. Man, yeah, the missed opportunities, but I am so excited to see what those opportunities are going to be for Jade and WWE.
Same.
I really am, because I think they're super at a point now, especially with all this merger stuff, like trying to find that relevancy within pop culture again. I think I think that they've got the tools to do it, but with like and sending Bianca and Montez to those events, that kind of thing. I think you'll get yourself there, but somebody like Jade, just on her look and charisma alone, oh my gosh!
I know.
There's a lot there that they can do, man.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's crazy to me that they would drop that ball. It really is.
Yeah, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. Let's talk Dynamite last night. Setting the stage for Dynamite Grand Slam next week. Wrestle Dream in what, like a month? No, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks time.
3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, another 5-hour show in 3 weeks. You ready for it, Steve?
Hey, man, you know what? Let's dream big. Let's
Wrestle Dream large.
Maybe let's dream large. Maybe let's dream of a 3-hour show.
Oh gosh, one can hope. Maybe like the 4 matches they've announced, that's the card. Give Swerve and Hangman like 30 minutes.
Hey, Tuesday in Texas was only 90 minutes.
More of that, please.
Yeah, more of that, please. Exactly.
So as mentioned, I think you did the head of the show. We got a new #1 contender for MJF at Grand Slam. His name is, as expected, your one true king of television, Samoa Joe.
Man,
he beat Roderick Strong in the main event, and then afterwards choked out Adam Cole. Sure, Adam Cole was having flashbacks to his time in NXT there when he was feuding with Kyle O'Reilly.
Can't escape that guy.
Cannot. So we expected this to be the case. You know, and I saw, was it Monster proposed the idea of Joe beating MJF and then Cole beating Joe for that title? Brilliant.
Again. Just too good to happen. Because you know it's going to be. It probably is going to end up being Cole screwing Joe out of the title somehow, and using the because what's his face MJF was wearing the Dynamite diamond ring when he did that Steiner Math promo, so he'll probably have to use that on Joe. But the Solid Monster deal there was MJF loses to Joe because of the neck. He gets written off for a while because of the neck. Cole ends up winning it off of Joe, and then that sets up Cole versus MJF. Ooh, what happens here? I think that's a great idea. You know, mainly because it involves Joe winning the world title, which would be absolutely outstanding.
Absolutely great, yeah.
I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. We talked about WWE dropping the ball. AEW dropping the ball with Jade Cargill. We did a list not long ago. WWE ball drops and Samoa Joe. I don't know where he was on the list, but
I think he was high.
He was probably pretty high. He should be, because my God, he is doing phenomenal work here in AEW. Joe is the best. The fact
Joe's
that
number 5 on that list. I have it right in front of me right now.
The fact that WWE didn't take more advantage of Samoa Joe and didn't, you know, have him be a guy to beat a Brock Lesnar or, you know, whatever. Big ball drop there. So look, ball drops happening all over the place. They always happen. We're going to point them out regardless of the company.
Exactly. You get a number one contender for the AEW Women's Championship too, Toni Storm. This character work she's been doing is fantastic.
Watch out!
It's so darn good.
Watch for the shoe. Watch the shoe.
It's so good.
Yeah. Good stuff.
She won a 4-way bout to earn a title shot against Saraya at Grand Slam. Hopefully, they give that match more than 10 minutes.
9 minutes and 56 seconds is my early bet on that one.
All right, I was probably going to be closer to 8.5. I was gonna predict,
yeah. And that's gonna be out of a 5-hour show, by the way, too.
Oh, I know. So Toni Storm's doing great work.
Yeah.
And I mean, heck, they were almost set up. They have been the story with Sheeta and Britt, where they just kind of argue a bunch. I was ever going to actually get to the next point in the story, which is they have match. But you know, I guess they're trying to tell 2 stories concurrently in the women's division, so that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think the match would probably be pretty good. And Tony is doing the best work, but that's not always necessarily rewarded or taken advantage of, I should say, by Tony Khan. But she is featured. I mean, I don't know how this is going to, Saraya has Ruby in her corner, so I'm sure it's going to play into it. So, we'll see how that goes. You know, in terms of like the stories, again, you look at the Jade thing, it's like, man, Jade never mixed it up with the Outcast. That's nuts to me. Yeah. But
the fact that Jade was never involved in that homegrown talent versus Outcast story, such as it was.
That's absolutely crazy. Yeah.
Didn't make any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Swerve challenge after Hangman. Boy, that was a long match. Hangman versus Brian Cage. It was a really good match. Don't get me wrong. Brian Cage is a hell of a wrestler. He really is. But Hangman took care of Brian Cage, and then had a fiery promo on Swerve for this match at Wrestle Dream. Again, I'm really hoping I don't know why I'm optimistic here, but I'm optimistic this is going to be a lengthier series. It shouldn't just blow off at Wrestle Dream. Swerve should get the win there, and then maybe in the end, Hangman can get that back and propel him back to where he should be, and it should propel Swerve to bigger things as well. But that should also be a hell of a match, Swerve versus Hangman.
Oh yeah, that should be really good. Hey, maybe they'll have 5 matches on the card, and every match will get 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and it'll be just like a really wrestling focused show. Maybe they got Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. confirmed for that card.
Oh, that's gonna be a good match.
That's gonna be something else. That match is getting more than 20 minutes.
Yeah, it is. But it's you think the match is going to be longer than the actual build to the? They're not going to do any is he going to show up or anything?
Oh, maybe.
Because right now it's like Bryan Danielson and friggin' Ricky Starks are still going at it.
Story, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, Zach cut a promo on Danielson in Japan, I think.
I got to watch that.
Dragon Bollocks.
Dragon Bollocks, that's what I figured it would be. Yeah, that's kind of awesome. Yeah. I mean, Wrestle Dream is, I know it's like, it's a ode to Inoki or something like that.
Yeah.
Is it just going to be like exhibition stuff? Like, is it going to be like, well, no, if Swerve and Hangman, that's a storyline they got going.
That is.
Yeah, okay.
So, no, it's not going to be like Forbidden Door, where it's kind of exhibition
just
stuff.
Just a bunch of nothingness, yeah. Just good matches, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways. So, before we get into our AEW Dynamite recap, Larson, you want to pay some bills?
Let's do it. Let's take a quick break here. Get a word from our sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook. Hey, Steve.
Yes?
Football is back in full swing with another week of epic games, and who's got you covered on the action for every single one of them? DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet $5 on football and get $200 instantly in bonus bets.
And get this, Larson. Nobody is missing out on the action this season because that's right, I said all customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game this September.
Get in on the NFL Week 2 action with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use code RAW to sign up. New customers can bet just $5 and take home $200 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code RAW. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football. Terms for eligibility, terms and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
And this episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. Don't know if this happens to you at all, Steve, but
what?
For as long as I can remember, I've had a hard time quieting down this brain of mine.
Oh my gosh.
When it's time to try to get some sleep.
Oh no.
It became a major issue. Huge problem. I started dealing with severe anxiety, about 20 years ago.
Well, I'm sure you know this now, Larson. But one way to quiet those racing thoughts is to talk your way through them, and therapy gives you an opportunity to do that so you can get out of those negative thought cycles and find some peace.
Yeah, back in my 20s, my anxiety, as mentioned, got so bad. I'm talking really bad. I realized that I had to go to therapy. Well, it took me a couple tries to find someone I felt comfortable talking to. Once I did, I was able to learn tools that I needed to better cope with my anxiety.
And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched up with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge.
So get a break from your thoughts with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
All right.
So
Dynamite started with Jon Moxley versus Big Bill. At one point, Big Bill did a Buffalo Bill shout out from Silence of the Lambs.
He did.
Yeah. What a creep that guy was.
Yeah, you got that right.
Anyways, of course, Mox bled big in this match. My goodness.
Well, yeah, he's in Cincinnati. It's his hometown, too. So.
Yeah. So he got the win.
What was great about the blood, though, wasn't so much this match, but when Danielson and Claudio were doing the interview later, did you notice that Mox was like having trouble getting his shirt on, was acting like he was all woozy and stuff?
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
It was great.
I saw somebody on Twitter did a close up of that. It was pretty good stuff.
Yeah, he's not usually so over the top with his reactions to his matches, so it was kind of nice to see him kind of having fun with it.
I could use a little bit more comedic Mox. I think that could be good stuff.
Yeah, there's a balance. Dude, that bit he did was him and Danielson when Mox is dressed as the Mountie.
WWE. I remember that. Yeah.
That was funny because they were both trying not to laugh the whole time.
People try not to laugh is always hilarious. Man, we got 590 people watching live on the YouTube.
Awesome.
Do us a solid, man. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Man, Larson. I noticed this yesterday. We were at 198, 147. Now we're down to 198, 136.
What did we do wrong?
Dropped 11 subs. We need everybody. Listen, 590 of y'all. I know some of y'all out there have not hit that subscribe button. Whatever we did, we apologize. If it's because, maybe it's because I let my dog poop on somebody's lawn and I didn't pick it up, Larson. I did that maybe 11 times and those people stopped subbing to the channel. That's a possibility.
That could be because, it helps be a considerate neighbor,
I do it all the time. I can't help it.
Well, you can't.
I can help.
No, you can't help it.
She even has.
Choose not to.
She even has, for appearance's sake, she has a little like dog, like she has like little poop bags on her harness, But that's just for show. That's just for show.
Are there actual poop bags inside the little container? Or is it empty?
Yeah.
And you just can't take it out and pick up her feces.
No, it's just not going to happen. It's disgusting. I'm not going to pick somebody else's poop up. That's disgusting.
Dude, literally the other day we were playing basketball. It's like, there's a big poop right by the court. Do you have a bag so I could pick it up? And you're like, no, I'll do it.
Yeah. Good impression of me, by the way. Well, yeah, because as you just, you're talking about the BetterHelp stuff, I know you've got an aversion to germs and shit. And, in that case, I was like, I'm not going to make him do this. I'll do it because I don't want the ball to roll and poop. That's disgusting. Anyways, if you guys can hit that sub button, 2 people already did, and I appreciate that. Anyways, but don't expect me to pick up my dog's crap. So,
anyways, also, too, hey, if you're watching here live VOD, if you enjoy this, should you pick up your dog's poop conversation, hit that like button.
Yeah.
Give this video a like if you pick up your dog's poop.
Right. Or if you're like me and don't, give it a like.
Give it a like either way, I suppose. Anyways, this match with Big Bill and Mox, it was fun. Big Bill, man, his work since he, came to Impact and afterwards, it's been awesome.
Oh, he's great.
Awesome.
Big Bill's great. Yeah.
Big Bill is great. A lot of fun. Unfortunately, though, even with Ricky Stark's help, Big Bill couldn't get the win. Mox does, chokes out Big Bill because Danielson runs it down to ringside to keep Starks from getting involved in the match.
He was trying to get in there when he was getting choked out, and he was trying his darndest, and Danielson was holding him back. And then did he pass out or tap out? What was it? He taps out. So Starks, Danielson sort of lets him go because he's like, job done. Starks sucker punches Brian, lays him out, then gets in the ring to help Bill beat down Mox. Claudio comes to the ring. He lifts up Bill, but then Bill's able to escape to the apron, and then Claudio hits him with an uppercut with the Blackpool Combat Club. But then Ricky Stark's very upset because his wonderful pearl necklace was broken, and he said, "You broke my pearl necklace."
He was very upset about it. For good
it's a
reason.
very lovely pearl necklace. It really is.
Probably expensive too.
Probably.
After that, we had a Roderick Strong Kingdom interview backstage. Renee asked Roddy how he feels about wrestling Joe after Joe nearly put him on the shelf after injuring his neck. And Roddy's about to answer, but basically instantly interrupted by Adam Cole, who says, "Roddy, listen to me. I really think this is a horrible, horrible idea after what happened last time. Joe could break your neck." And Roddy says, "Oh, fellas, now he cares about my neck health. You know what? The Kingdom believe in me, and the only person you believe in is Max. So, but you should worry about Max, because after I beat Joe tonight, I'm going to go on to break his back and win the AEW World title because I'm a wrestling legend. Let's go, boys." So he and the Kingdom leave. And Adam Cole just goes,
He's sort of wondering how he ever became best friends with such a clown in the first place. But gosh darn it, Roderick Strong is hilarious.
Maybe when you're friends with Roderick Strong and he's doing that to other people, it's really funny and endearing. But as opposed
that could be.
You're the focus of that kind of stuff.
But then you get the other side of it, and it's like, this is not fun.
Not fun.
Yeah, exactly. How did I get here? So then we had the brown note signaling Don Callis family, which is at this point still just Don Callis and Takeshita, although he's trying to add more members to the group. We get to that later. So Shivani introduces Callis and Takeshita. They come to the ring. Callis gets on the mic and says, "We just beat Kenny Omega twice in 1 week. Show some respect. We've been celebrating." He says, "I've learned a lot from Takeshita about Japanese culture, and I've learned that when you're the top wrestler in a promotion, they call you the ace. There's been a lot of great aces, but Takeshita's better than all of them. So when you beat Kenny Omega once, they call you the ace, but when you beat him twice in 7 days, they don't call you the ace, they call you the alpha. Henceforth, you will refer to Takeshita as the alpha. A lot of people say we should feel bad for destroying Kenny, but I actually feel nothing. I've never had the empathy thing. It just felt like weakness to me. But when you're the alpha, you take everything that can be taken and then you take a little more. And on that subject, Kenny, beating you twice isn't enough. We broke your body, and now I'm going to break your heart. I promise to reveal who the next target of the Callis family is going to be. And Kenny, this one's going to kill you. The next target is none other, and he unveils the painting. Then former IWGP Heavyweight Champion in the heart of Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi. And it's got like Takeshita holding a sword over Kota Ibushi as he's cowering. And Callis continues. Thank you for doing the cower there and the sword thing. Callis continues, says, there you go. That's a cower right there. He says, Kenny, we're not just going to beat Ibushi. We're not just going to take him from you. We're not just going to pin him. We're going to butcher him. We're going to skin him. We're going to burn him. And I'm going to love the fact that while we're spilling his blood in this ring, you're going to be at home, helpless, watching like the pathetic cuck that you are. And then Callis stabs this wonderful painting, which is probably just a digital render.
Is it a Mel Coleman one? Mel Coleman work?
Yeah, but I imagine like the actual painting itself is probably a digital printout. Yeah. Because not
the original.
Stab this original painting.
Yes.
She might work digitally for all I know. I don't know. So anyways, then he presents Takeshita with a bouquet of flowers, and then he shoves them, and then Takeshita takes the flowers, he shoves them into Shivani's chest.
Yeah.
This is pretty good stuff here. I like Callis.
It was good stuff. Blackpool Combat Club had an interview next. Brian says, we love it when things escalate. We're all about escalation. So here's a challenge for Ricky Starks and Big Bill.
Big Bill.
Saturday at Collision. Ricky Starks and Bill, you guys against me and Claudio. And during this, Mox is trying to get his sweater on. He's like unsteady on his feet. He's got blood going down his face, and he's trying to get his bearings the whole time, like super over the top. It's really funny. So Marvez mentions to Mox and Claudio they got title matches next week at Grand Slam. Mox says, we don't call those title matches. We call them days off. We call that easy work. And Claudio says, that's right, Eddie. And Roddy's about to finish that thought. Phoenix, Penta, Alex rush in. Phoenix is trying to get at Mox. Rest come in to separate it. While that's happening, Eddie kind of slides in the background and just stares at Claudio.
Yeah.
Claudio just stares back.
Yeah, there's all this chaos going on, and they're just stoned. And then Eddie says, one more week.
Gonna gut you.
Gonna make you my sweetheart. I'm gonna gut you. Boy, Eddie with 2 titles. Boy, that's gonna be good stuff.
Count on it. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Then we got a Hook interview. Renee congratulates him on winning the FTW title back, but Orange Cassidy interrupts before Hook says anything. And Renee's like, what are you doing here? And he says, I'm just walking around. I saw Hook all mad about something. Mm-hmm. Why are you mad?
Mm-hmm.
You wrestle. You have tape all over your body. You have a title. I used to have a title. And Hook just says, you were a great, great champ. And Orange goes, thanks, man. You are too. So they fist bump. Hook leaves. And Renee asks Orange if he's doing okay. And he says, I'm still so tired.
Now is the time to rest. You get the title's gone, rest up, recharge the batteries, and then come back stronger once all that tape's off you. You know?
Exactly.
After that, we had 4-way eliminator action here. Toni Storm versus Hikaru Shida versus Nyla Rose versus Britt Baker for a number 1 contender shot at Saraya's AEW Women's Championship.
Yeah. Not surprisingly, they didn't give this match a ton of time.
No.
It's really good what we saw, though.
Yeah, I know. They always give you a taste. With the women, they give you a taste of what they can do. But, that, man, I don't want to get back into it, but, like, that does sort of, that's another thing that, do you think Jade going to WWE signals what might be a larger shift over the next year when contracts are coming up with prominent women's wrestlers? WWE's going to be snatching them up, right?
I mean, if the idea is you're an AEW, you're not happy with the opportunities presented to you with the TV time that you're getting maybe on a weekly basis, and you think you're gonna get more opportunity and more time to showcase what you can do anywhere else, whether it be WWE, Impact, wherever. Yeah. Why wouldn't you consider making the move?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's one of many downsides to not consistently booking your women's division well. Is like you sign talent, and if they're not getting opportunities or time or means to showcase what they can do, they'll go someplace where they can.
And here's the thing too. So many of them these days Like, for example, look at like Steph DeLanda, for example, Jordan Grace, tons of money on, like the fan site stuff.
Yeah.
So like money becomes, not saying money isn't important, but when money, you're able to generate a large amount of revenue elsewhere and you want to keep your profile in wrestling. Well, you can do that in Impact because Impact knows how to feature their women's division. And you could do that in WWE because between NXT and the main roster, spots, they feature their women.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're not going to, on the platform you've chosen, if money isn't necessarily top priority, then it becomes a matter of exposure. And yes, I understand Impact is seen in a lot less households, but to the general wrestling community, it is a factor. Trinity ended up going there instead of, the other options
AEW,
out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, you gotta ask yourself, well, what platform is going to properly, use me, or at least give you a good chance to be used.
Well, I mean, like professional wrestlers are creative people. They're telling stories in the ring.
Yeah.
And I'm sure being in AEW, if you have an opportunity to showcase your creativity, that's frustrating.
Yeah.
So as mentioned, if you have other avenues to make money or money is not the top priority for you, if going out there and working, showing what you can do in the professional wrestling ring is top priority, I can see why AEW wouldn't necessarily be anybody's first choice because there's just not the opportunities there.
Yeah. After that, so Nyla hits Tony with a beast bomb. Sheeta looks to break it up with a knee. Nyla lifts up Tony. She eats it.
Yeah, that was good. That was
really good. Yeah. Nyla covers again. Sheeta breaks up the pin. Sheeta then hits Nyla with a spinning knee. Britt breaks that up, the pin up with a super kick. Hits Sheeta with a stomp, and then Tony rolls up Britt to get the win. She gets out of there. Sheeta's pissed off because, of how the final sequence went down.
Yeah. Well, there was tension between Britt and Sheeta the whole match.
Right, exactly, yeah. And then, and so she's sort of, shouting at Britt. Britt rolls out, grabs Sheeta's kendo stick, and just sort of saunters off with it. So, I don't know. Has there been a match announced for those two coming up? Because they've been going at it for a little while here.
Yeah, it's been chippy, but it hasn't really escalated beyond chippy.
Yeah. Again, that'll be a really good match when it happens. Britt and Sheeta are both phenomenal. They're really good wrestlers.
Oh yeah. After that, we had a Saraya and Ruby Soho interview. So Renee asked Saraya how she feels facing Tony at Grand Slam, and she says, "First of all, congratulations, Tony. You did it. You did it without us. We could not be prouder." But things are a little different, Renee, because when I walked in a year ago, I was the new kid on the block, and Toni Storm was the champ. She lost her championship, but you know what else she lost? Everything to me. She lost her title, her friends, her top spot. That's me now. And she said she also lost her mind. She's crazy, Renee, but you know what? You know what else she's going to lose? She's going to lose the match at Grand Slam. I'm going to walk out at AEW's Women's Champ, and she's going to be left with nothing.
Ooh, yeah. Before we move on to this endless, this forever promo, which we're going to, hey, look, man, I'm sorry. I'm too old for this. We're gonna speed run that one.
Honestly, there's nothing really here except for the very end. It's just them like, hey,
I know, dude.
I like you. I like you too.
I know.
It was so long.
Self-indulgent. It was self-indulgent.
It was.
Before we
added nothing to the match.
Before we get to that, though, I just want to give a shout out here to our new patrons: Andrew Lewis, Dylan Jones, Andy Vlahopoulos, or Ani Vlahopoulos. I'm sorry, I totally butchered your name. Professor Genki, Shelby Fielding, and Chris Bower. Thank you so much for your support. If you like the bonus episodes, the question threads, and of course our huge next predictions challenge is going down in about 2 weeks. It's the Week of Champions 2. It's our huge predictions challenge. Patreon.com/Steven Larson, or just by clicking join on the YouTube, you can become a channel member, and that gets you access to all that stuff, and it really helps support Going In Raw and the Friendo Club. So thanks everybody for doing that
so much.
and participating.
So
yeah, we had this long thing with Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, and basically it's just sort of them talking about how much they like each other and what their goals were and how Jericho said you need to go fly on your own. They had a whole video package play during this thing. Chris Jericho mentioned that he was the guy that got Sammy hired there, and then they say, hey, they're gonna have a match at the Grand Slam.
Yeah. And Sammy's like, this is my opportunity to get out from under your shadow, to establish myself as a main event guy. But then after I do that, let's go and win the tag titles.
Right. I guess they just want to get this out of their system is the idea.
This is the idea, because this is all very friendly, except for the moment when Sammy extends his hand and Jericho pulls him in and says, essentially, you better be the best Sammy Guevara you've ever been, because you're going to need it.
Dude, I really can, Chris Jericho trying to make a story out of everything he does, because that's why I like wrestling, is for the stories. I've always been a big Chris Jericho fan. His stuff, I mean, this is probably an understatement. His stuff can turn self-indulgent pretty darn quickly in service of trying to build a story. It could just turn into sort of like a wank fest. And that's that's what this was. It was sort of the worst of that, because it was just so long. It was honestly kind of unnecessary. Like, give this thing really 5 minutes and you got your point. This was like 15 minutes. It was long.
It was super long, and it didn't really add anything. We knew it was at stake already. We knew Sammy was trying to establish himself as not Jericho's number 2. That's been established already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just felt pointless, super self-indulgent. I didn't feel like it added anything to the story they were trying to tell. It just kind of reaffirmed everything they've mentioned along the way without really adding anything new.
Oh man, this is exactly it. Dang MQ here in Twitch chat says Jericho saw Edge's last promo in WWE and thought, I can top that. Oh man, just endless. And
just wait.
Look, Jericho.
Just wait till Edgy Adam comes to AEW, Steve.
Yeah, I know. Right? Oh my God, I know. So yeah. I mean, it was so unnecessarily long. And then we have this is from last Wednesday. Renee checking in on MJF, and he's in the trainer's room, and trainer says no, he's available next week, but he's not going to be available next week, but he's going to be cleared for Grand Slam. Mm-hmm. So Renee asks MJF about the semifinalists, and Adam Cole is there as well, and he says, if I'm a betting man, there are 2 talents who are going to make it to the finals, and who are also 2 talents I want to make it to the finals because I hate their guts. Roddy the Simp Strong, let's face it, everyone, and Adam Cole gets very uncomfortable when he's talking about Roderick Strong.
Yeah.
He says, let's face it, everyone knows you're faking that neck injury. My neck is, a little screwy, but I promise you, if you make it through this Grand Slam tournament, I'll rip your head off and shove it straight up your ass. But frankly, it seems you've beaten me to it with the way you've been acting. You're an incredibly manipulative person. Sorry, Adam, but it's true. You're a wet blanket and a third wheel. So if I were you, I'd shake it off, you bland bitch. Samoa Joe, you think I'm afraid of you, man? I learned at a young age that it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. And this New York pit bull has a whole lot of bite. You better pray to God you don't win this tournament, Joe, because let me make you a promise that is crystal clear. If you wrestle me, I'm going to choke you out. And if you don't believe me, let me get it through your thick, fat skull with some simple math. And then he does perfectly the Steiner promo. The Steiner math
basically
promo.
in its entirety. A couple changes.
Yeah. With Adam Cole. I think Adam Cole is doing his best to sort of replicate Petey Williams's his reactions during it, because I don't know if I recall correctly, nobody knew that he was going to bust that out, and so all their reactions were like kind of in character and also like, where is he going with this? It's pretty funny. Yeah,
that was good. Yeah. After that, we had Brian Cage taking on Hangman Page, as he mentioned. Pretty long bout, physical bout, a rubber match between the two of them. I totally forgot that Brian Cage actually beat Hangman at one point. Probably early in his AEW run when they were trying to establish him as like a main event guy.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, Hangman gets the win here. Not surprising. During the match, Swerve comes out to distract Hangman, I believe, while he's trying to do a buckshot lariat. Mm-hmm. In the end, though, Page wins with the Deadeye. Mm-hmm. And then Hangman and Swerve just start staring at each other. Hangman's still in the ring. Swerve is up on the ramp. So Page calls for a mic and says, what passion, what drive just oozing out of your body as you stand there and watch me kick this lump's ass. Last week you said you wanted my spot, you wanted my position in this company, but you sent Cage to fight me instead of doing it yourself. Last week, for 1 second, when you were saying those things, you said to me, I thought you had some balls, but after tonight, I'm pretty sure you keep them stored away in Prince Nana's Burger King ass crown. So then Swerve gets a mic from his back pocket and says, what up, turd?
What up, turd?
Them sound like fighting words to me, Hangman. You think this thing between us is going to be solved tonight? Then you must be stupider than the Cincinnati education system as well.
Boo.
No, we do this when I say, where I say. It just so happens that I choose the great state that birthed Swerve Strickland, October 1st, city of Seattle, Wrestle Dream. Me and you, Hangman. But I'm going to make sure that you don't get too comfortable by the time you get there, so the Mogul Embassy is going to cheer you up a little bit. Ain't that right, Brian Cage? Brian Cage. I don't know why Hangman just totally forgot about Brian Cage. Brian Cage lays him out from behind, and Prince Nana gets in the ring and starts dancing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And then the Young Bucks slide in. They super kick Brian Cage, and then Nick starts kind of doing Nana's dance behind him. Nana turns around. He eats a couple of super kicks from the Young Bucks.
Yeah. So, yeah, Seattle, first match. Swerve's got to get that win.
You got to think Swerve's getting that win.
Got to get that win.
I hope so.
I
hope so. Let me ask you this. So, of course, Bryan Danielson, he's from Aberdeen, Washington.
Yeah.
He's facing Zack Sabre Jr. Is he going to win that match?
Yes, he is. Oh, yeah. God, yeah. Yeah.
You sure? Because I feel like Ricky Starks might cost Bryan Danielson that match.
Is the TV title on the line?
No.
Yeah, he's winning. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think in my head, like, does AEW do the thing where, like, people... I feel like this is going to be away from the Ricky Stark stuff, dude. If Ricky's not going to have... Number one, if Ricky's not going to have... I just don't see how it benefits him all that much. You know? Like,
who, Ricky or Danielson?
Their story. You know? It's like... They had the strap match, and that was huge. And I get it. He costs him a match, but, like... If it's not for anything, and
for the title of best technical wrestler in the world, Steve.
It's not a real title.
It's not a physical title.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It is a real title because Dave Meltzer has an entire award named after Bryan Danielson for the best technical wrestler in the world.
That's a good point. I don't
know if he sends physical awards to anybody, but it is a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that match is just going to sort of exist on its own island. You know, if it's like for the I'll put it this way, if it's for the title of the best technical wrestler in the world, like it doesn't really accomplish that. That's what it was to build up the
first Forbidden Door. That was
I know.
What was on the line, yeah.
But it doesn't accomplish that if somebody screws with the match. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree. So, but if Stark screws Danielson out of the match, and Danielson's like, I was on the verge of showing everybody that I was the best technical wrestler in the world, you deny me that. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not discounting the possibility it could be the case, though.
Yeah, a little limp in front of the Seattle crowd. I mean, say what you will about Tony Khan. He usually gives the hometown people their wins.
Well, you have Swerve win.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You have Swerve win 1,000%, and then you have Danielson get cheated out of the win. And then Danielson puts over Zack Sabre Jr. If Danielson has only got a year left in the business, I don't think he has any issues putting over Zack Sabre Jr.
I don't think he does either. How many confidence points would you put on that, though?
Not a ton.
And where would you go in your actual predictions?
One Bryan Danielson.
One Bryan Danielson?
There's only 4 matches on the card now, Steve.
One Bryan Danielson. After this, we had Daniel Garcia is getting so good in his interviews and on the mic. And the dancing stuff is great, too. But Renee starts to ask about Jericho, and Sammy interrupts. She's like, I thought we were going to talk about me. I came here just like everybody else, and you asked me about Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. Why don't we talk about the Arizona Cardinals doing my dance this past Sunday? Why don't we talk about how I went viral 4 times in 1 month? Why don't we talk about the career of Daniel Garcia, and that just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing? It's a Don Callis step.
You're making him sound like Dirk Diggler.
Yeah, that's sort of his thing. Yeah, him and Austin Theory. Austin Theory is not that at all, but I still do it that way.
Yeah.
So Don Callis steps in. I could not agree more. I would love to hear about the career of Daniel Garcia because I know after being Chris Jericho's best friend for 34 years, it's all about him. He's the ultimate narcissist. Now the Don Callis family, we're going to construct a utopian meritocracy. I laughed out loud at that line.
Yeah,
we're going to construct a utopian meritocracy whereby each member for themselves, and then Garcia hushes him, starts dancing in his face, and then leaves. And Callis says, wow, yeah, that's money right there. Let's get some more of that money. And he follows him.
Oh, it was great.
It was pretty funny.
It's good stuff. Utopian meritocracy. Oh, my goodness. Then we had a recap package of Jade Cargill returning to Collision on Saturday. And then I think they announced the TBS title match on Rampage this Friday. And then instantly I was like, why are they having that match on Rampage?
Now you know.
Now we know.
Now you know.
So then we had tag match Darby Allin and Nick Wayne taking on 2.0, Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ange. Of course, Darby and Nick Wayne get the win here.
Yeah.
Finish was pretty cool because Darby hits Cool Hand with a coffin drop while Nick Wayne takes out Hager and Menard with like a moonsault off the top.
Yeah.
So during the match, Christian comes out and joins commentary. So after the match, he grabs a mic and says, "Hold on. Very impressive victory." And he yells at the crowd, "Cincinnati, I'm conducting business, so sit down and shut your mouths." Nick Wayne, after I went home last week, I was scrolling through your mom's Instagram account. And there are a couple things that bothered me. First, your mom doesn't post enough bikini pics, but don't worry. I sent her a special request on the side. The other is that there's still a lot of talk about Darby Allin and Sting's victory at All In, and it's really starting to piss me off. As the franchise player here, I got to say, it's kind of embarrassing. He takes this really great pause.
Mm-hmm.
Not losing to the Cleveland Browns embarrassing, but embarrassing nonetheless because the Bengals lost the Browns last week. I just want to remind everyone of one thing. I didn't take that loss from my team in that match. And the second thing is, I didn't have my regular partner with me, did I? So I think it's time to right that wrong. Next week at Grand Slam, I'm proposing this. Darby and Sting versus Christian, Luchasaurus. If you got the balls, I'll see you in New York City.
He's so good. Gosh darn, he's so good. Hey, let me ask you this.
Hall of Fame promo here.
So during this, we'll see. During this match, Tony Schiavone pointed out once again, like they do every week, that Nick Wayne just turned 18. His birthday was in July, Larson. At what point are they going to stop saying that he just turned 18? I don't know why that bothers me. It's like, I get it. He's young. But that's such a weird thing to continually harp on. He just turned 18. It was like months ago.
He just turned. I feel like you get 30 days leeway on that.
I agree. Yeah. Just saying he's 18 is enough. I don't know why I'm even talking about this.
No,
but
I get your point.
How long are they going to keep saying that he just turned 18?
Until he turns 19, Steve.
They're going to go 11 months and 29 days?
Just like, in June of next year, Schiavone's going to say, "Hey, Excalibur, did you know that Nick Wayne just turned 18?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right, yeah. It's too much, man. It's too much. Anyways.
Yeah, it is too much.
After that, we had a recap package for the Grand Slam tournament, and then that followed up with and after that was the main event, Roderick Strong versus Samoa Joe. This is just fucking good stuff because they're both awesome wrestlers.
Yeah.
Of course, Joe ends up locking in a coquina clutch. Roderick Strong taps out. Then the real fireworks start. So Taven and Bennett get in the ring to check on Roderick Strong. Joe grabs the mic. He says, "Oh, Max, it seems my little prophecy has come true, and next week I go to your backyard, and I'm coming for you. I'm going to walk you down, beat you up, take everything you have, kid. Everything!" So he leaves the ring, walks up the ramp. As he goes backstage, Roderick Strong gets to his feet, and he refuses to put on the neck brace. Adam Cole comes out. He starts walking down the ramp. As soon as Roderick Strong sees Adam Cole, he drops to the ground, and the Kingdom start rushing to put the thing on the neck brace on.
And he's screaming, "Adam!
Adam! Adam! Adam!" And so the Kingdom tell Cole, "This is all your fault." And he's like, "What are you guys talking about? This is not the time or place." So they're like, "This is your fault." So the trainers come to the ring, and they put Strong on a board, and then they put him on the stretcher. He's like, "Adam!" The next part is great. So then he says, "Adam, I can't see you," when his eyes are clearly just closed.
So good.
Oh, that shit cracks. So the trainers wheel Roddy backstage, which is, it's like to the side of the ramp, and Cole's trying to go with him, and they're like, "No." The Kingdom are like, "No, you can't go. You can't go." Yeah. So he's like following him up the ramp, trying to figure out a way to get down there and like holding them back. They're like, "No, you can't come with him. You can't come with him." And so that distracts Cole. Once he's up on the stage, Joe comes back out, and he just manhandles Cole, grabs him, chokes him out, and he just growls into the camera, "Max, I'm taking everything from you."
Oh, it was so good.
"I can't see you, Adam."
Oh, it was so good.
His eyes are closed. Oh, that was good stuff.
It was so good. Yeah, Roderick Strong just does annoying shithead so well.
He really does. He really does.
Good.
We got a couple of membership re-ups here. One from High Plains Drifter for 18 months now. Says, "I'm still saying he's the world's most entertaining energy vampire." Who are we talking about here? Oh, Jericho. I think he's talking about Jericho.
Yeah. The Colin Robinson of AEW, huh?
He's the Colin Robinson. W.S. Fletcher here. Member for 53 months. Though. Look, we got 670 people. I know some of you might be new here. You know, we're nice guys. One of us cleans up after our dog.
Honey Bucket.
Isn't Honey Pot the...
yeah, it is. It's Honey Bucket, yeah.
Okay, I think isn't Honey... Yeah, I don't know. Honeywell. That's what I'm thinking of. That's the...
Oh, yeah, that's like
cooking ware.
Yeah, they make a bunch of different stuff. They make thermostats, too.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, I'm trying to find the question thread here, but we have question threads here.
We do. Let's see here. Time War. Oh, we kind of covered that already. Andre Zimpel says, would you rather have it where you have a fantastic 5-star match with a horrible story behind them, or matches that are less than 1-star rating but have top-tier stories?
Oh, I'd rather just have the really good match. I know I'm a story guy, but nothing will tank a story like a shit match.
Yeah.
That's the truth, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't
build up to. That's what you build up to in these stories. And if the build of the match is really good, when the match is just god-awful, guess what?
You can't drop a turd match. It's going to stain the entire thing.
Yep.
You know. Let's see here. Oh, probably not. David Matushek says if Jade goes to WWE, will she be able to keep her AEW theme? It sort of depends on who, like... owns or licenses.
If it's in-house, if it's a Mikey Ruckus song, then no.
Then not a chance, no.
Hopefully they don't change her name. They better not change her name.
If it's a really cool name, though.
Oh, there's a brand established around Jade Cargill.
Jade Powers. It's a cool name. That's a cool name.
It's not bad.
Yeah, man. Joe the Meme Maker says, if AEW did a truthfully random tag tournament, which crazy combo tag teams would you think would be entertaining? How about this? This is truly random. Do you have like a piece of paper or anything? I was going to write down a random name and we'll make some tag teams.
All right, I got paper. But I don't know if I have a writing utensil here, though.
You don't have a writing utensil?
I broke my pen, if you remember.
It's like the opposite. I don't have paper, but I have a writing utensil.
I found pen. What is this? I can rip this up. All right. Is this AEW? Is that what you said?
AEW, yeah. I'm going to write down a random name.
Write down 3 random names.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, I wrote down one name.
I have 3 names.
I got another one here. Hold on. Okay. I got another one, and then I got one last one. Okay. I got 3 names.
All right, fold them up.
All right. Fold it up. Fold it up.
Mix them up.
Fold it up.
Put them in the tumbler. All right, select your first one.
Okay, I got my first one.
I do too. Who's your first one?
Ray Phoenix.
Samoa Joe.
That's an okay tag team. That's an all right
bad.
one. That's not bad.
Next one I got here is Roderick Strong.
Roderick Strong. I've got Alex Abrahantes.
Interesting team.
That could work. Roddy says, my neck hurts.
That's good. Yeah.
All right, here's my last one. Lance Archer.
Powerhouse Hobbs. That's a good team.
That's a good team right there. Oh, my gosh. Unbeatable.
Exactly. Let's see here. Mayor Planet Houston here says, do you think WWE considers being on AEW TV regularly as ready for main roster? Or will most probably end up in NXT because that's where most people leaving other promotions spend time first anyways. I think if you're a champion in AEW, then that's a pathway directly to main roster. Without a doubt. I think if you're a champion in AEW, you should keep your name and you go directly to main roster.
I'm trying to think of any exceptions to that, but I think you're probably spot on with that. Like, I'm trying to think of anybody in AEW that Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a, you know what, that like you made your name, you got your brand, just stick with it.
I know.
Just stick with it.
I agree.
I can't think of anybody really, except if it's like maybe the reality Zach Clayton.
MHJ's here says Hook might not be go straight to main roster.
Who the hell was that guy that was with Briggs and Stratton on NXT the other
I don't
day?
know. I have no clue.
I swear that was the most my career thing I've ever seen in my life.
Looked like Steve Thunder.
It did.
It did.
Let's see here.
Disc golfing goon. If you had to pick someone to beat Bruno's world title reign, whether they're currently in WWE or not, who would it be and why?
Oh, Roman, of course.
I mean, Roman's almost halfway there at this point.
Just do it, right? Just do it.
When Jade goes to WWE, she has the title for 8 years.
Yeah, that's a long time though. Roman's already halfway there.
I understand.
Like, I wouldn't want anybody else to do it. I love Jade. She's great and everything, but there's going to be other awesome people. Roman's already halfway there. I say it's Roman or nothing.
Halfway there.
Roman or nothing. Let's see here. Sir Nicholas says, why does AEW have such a problem booking women's angles? Is AEW WWE light at this point? I don't know what that last part means, but why do they have a problem? Because Tony Khan doesn't value it. Simple. It's simple. Very simple. You can, you know, man, it's ridiculous. I hear these takes, right? People are like, they need to hire this person, that person, this person. No, doesn't matter. Because their boss is still going to be Tony Khan, who doesn't give a shit about spending any time on women's wrestling. That's it. Bottom line.
Yeah, it is. Until he changes his mind and starts caring about booking women's wrestling, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
Can bring in whoever you want. He doesn't change his mind, nothing is going to change.
Yep.
Nikal here says, if Jade joins WWE, should she win the Royal Rumble in her debut and beat Rhea at WrestleMania 40?
No, she should. I like what you said. She should beat Becky for the title in NXT and then join the awesome Bobby faction with Bianca. And then they should never feud, and they should always just trying to be winning titles.
Not like helping each other win titles.
Exactly,
dominant.
Just be
It'd be
dominant.
cool if that faction was like across all brands.
They really need some more women's. I agree. They need some more women's titles. They need like some mid-card women's titles, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Where's like she could be the women's Gunther, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we really need that.
Yeah.
Anyways, that is going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Today's Thursday. I think tomorrow we're going to upload a news brief thing, and then on Saturday, tomorrow's going to do like a news episode, and then on Saturday,
episode. Questions in 2,
we've got a count out, just like we did with WWE. 10 people they dropped the ball with. 10 people AEW dropped the ball with. I wonder where Jade Cargill's going to be on that list. I don't know. You made the list earlier, so I have not even looked at it.
Pretty high.
I imagine it's probably pretty high. If it's not pretty high, you know, I'm going to have to be like Larson. We're going to have to make it pretty high.
I feel like you're not going to. You won't see any changes needed.
All right, I trust thee. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, we'll see you around. Goodbye.